Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure. All right, how are you doing? Huh? Huh? All right, that's me. I just flew from San Francisco, and when I was traveling, when I was going to Palo Alto, a lot of my art directors they started to pimp the Photoshop and my face, and this is who I would like to be, but this is who I'm really. At your service. So, founder and CEO of Idean, we've been around 17 years. It's literally a lifetime story for me and my brother Mikko-Pekka. A few words about Idean. Who has heard of us before? Well, you need a little bit education here. So, we're a digital design agency. We work with everything you can see on the screen. Mining drills, space shuttles, like iPhone apps, anything you can imagine. What makes us, I think, really unique is that we work through our human-centric process. Every single time we will bring a real people, your clients or you guys, stakeholders, as a part of the design process, so that our designers and developers are able to actually solve the problem. So we're not just like painting nice icons and pictures, it's more about interaction and the features of the product. Started from there. I freaking love this screen. I need one. So started from there, Helsinki, and originally a Finn. 6 years ago, it started to feel a little bit cold and dark and sad. Anyone from Finland, by the way? Do we share? And I get this feeling I need to really go and try something new and change Idean. And so I bought a one-way ticket to Palo Alto, and that was the best move of our time. So today we work for companies like, these are so huge. None of these companies were really our clients before we moved to Bay Area, but today we are combining Scandinavian design heritage to a Silicon Valley speed and approach. And yeah, we are new member of Capgemini. 6 months ago, got acquired by these amazing dudes, so I got 200,000 new friends within Capgemini. Do you want to know real reason why I sold the company? Huh? We have a castle. Seriously. I saw the picture, I was like, all right, where's the paper? Send the check, whatever. But half true. I mean, we're really much into new workplaces, new studios. If you would come to our studio, it's like, really relaxed environment. But we never had a castle, and now we do have a castle. So I got my whole team there. Last June, we had a family trip with everyone from Idean, and if any one of you wants to come over there and have a workshop, I'll get discount, I guess. So, our tagline is, life is too short for crappy user experience. We believe into that tagline so much that we made a rap song. Yeah, so it's cheesy, I know, but we made 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, we need to do something else than like everywhere else. So I found this guy from LA, and we spent a whole day freestyling, telling what the design means, and we ended up having our rap song. So feel free to go to YouTube and like it. So to a topic of this day. So in many ways, our role as a company is to design for the future. The good news are that future, beware, is bright. It's super bright. I just had to do something with the big screen. So we're talking a lot about digital happiness and emotions and empathy. Last 10 years, let's say 15 years ago, no one really got this. Today, we have you guys are here, and we all together thinking about how to design for digital happiness. Why we are so happy? Because we actually know the secret for the digital happiness. Do you know the secret of digital happiness? You want to hear? Okay, I'm not going to reveal it yet. I'm going to tell you a few stories. Yeah, I mean, he's hilarious. My colleague, by the way. Not really. Yeah, he's the one Gemini guy. So I will tell you, actually, I was told, like, I had this presentation in Chicago a couple of months back, and I was told, like, don't change anything. So I actually went to change a lot of stuff. So 7 stories of digital happiness. So let's start with first one, happy consumer. So we had a project for Swatch management team, and their ask was, like, a year and a half ago, how to become relevant in a wearable space. Because, I mean, amazing company, beautiful brand, iconic products, but they really lost it in a way with digital. And one of the brief elements was that, by the way, don't go and try to do anything around step measurement, because it's boring. So, of course, our first thing was to go and start thinking step measurement, how to make that relevant. And the way how we started the whole thing was, like, we had 3 different countries, like China, I think UK, and US, and we conducted a lot of studies, observing and doing our research to see, like, what people really need at this point. So we created these personas, and out of these concepts and personas, we created 6 different concepts. I will show you one briefly. And so, obviously, art, because Swatch is all about the art. Art starts from blank canvas. For the Swatch, it's all about the watch. And so during our user research, one of the persons was, like, recording with the phone, and we got this footage, and we were like, it's almost like an art. While you walk, you see piece of art. So we were thinking, what if you, instead of, like, boring and unhappy, step measurement with numbers, you start creating piece of art while you walk. Let's say whole day or week. More you walk, more you get art. Quite novel, right? Huh? Would you buy? I don't know. So, and then again, we expanded the whole concept to something where, you can change that art. You can go and, like, have different kinds of art. You can, of course, have an iPhone app where you can go and buy and upload and sell your own art. You can go and ask famous artists to create art. We expanded it to a whole store concept and even to marketing, like to create an omnichannel access. And it all started just by observing how people behave. They went nuts with this one, I mean. And then in one addition was to add pets, dogs and cats, and to create a digital happiness with the pet owners. That's something I'm not going to show. So a second one. So there's our friend from Sandvik. Still?
They had to travel home. Oh,
all right, I'm going to claim everything now. So the thing is, I heard the story you had yesterday, and so Sandvik is a good example, like from consumer space to a mine. And these guys came to us 2008, and we were like, they wanted to create a whole digital language for the forthcoming digital devices. And so we started to follow our process, which is go and discover with the users, define, and then design and deploy. And again, the way how we started, that's Mika. One of our senior designers went to Morocco with his team and spent 2 weeks over there in the mine, observing how people behave. We saw a lot of different stuff over there. We saw, like, people reading manuals, in a mine. And you don't really go to mine to read manuals, right? Actually someone wrote that at home, printed it out, and took it to a mine. So there's something wrong with the user interface, we were thinking. And then we took everything to a, room like this, a lot of Post-it notes, and we started to define, like, what is the real problem we want to solve, and came up with a first multi-screen project back in those days. Again, it's like literally 10 years ago. Cheapest black and white wearable thing, most expensive touchscreen back in those days. And then we started to do our magic, interaction design, navigation maps, all the stuff that is required so that developers are actually able to build the product. And then we actually made it even look better than Facebook. So modern, like explosion maps, mining, things going in a mine, like a very modern mine. Some of this stuff was patented. I mean, literally that screen, everything you can see here, we're now allowed to show because it's all filed. So we were creating IP. And once again, now it's in the product, and it all started by us going into the mine and living the life of a miner. Happy runner. This goes with Nike. Anyone runs? So we were asked by these product owners in Nike why people run and why people listen music while they run. So again, we went to meet runners, and then we created this film, 10, 15 minutes, where people were explaining like why they actually, their emotions and the empathy, why they run, what makes them listen music while they run. So for us, that simple video was the tool to connect the product owners to real consumers and tell, like, you know, how to create meaning through empathy. And so a lot of this stuff turned to a prototype, which is all based on what we found out in the field. So the common mistake is to jump to this piece immediately, because it's faster and all that. We wouldn't be able to come up with all those things without really going and meeting the runners. Happy DNA testing. Now is my chance to take a breath. 23andMe, anyone knows? The new ways to spit?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Hello everyone, my name is Mikko Hansky, and just like give a short pause for Risto of this one. My role at Idean is to understand customer and user behavior. I'm a design researcher from my background, so we got this challenge from an interesting company, and we thought that it would be interesting. Witte was speaking about genome manipulation, so these are the first, some of the steps of that. So our job, 23andMe had a problem that they found out that in order for you to analyze your DNA, it's the scariest thing in the world. You don't know what comes out of there. And so there's like a pretty big sales obstacle for these guys. So our job with the 23andMe was to go on and research and have a conversations with users. And so what are the biggest fears and what are the biggest hopes that they can think about when they analyze their own DNA? So all this ethnographic study about DNA analysis was then understood. We tried to figure out what would be the design scope of us. So what do we actually design in order to solve that sales channel? And we found out that there's this, you've probably seen the movie Matrix. In the first movie, there's this guy is given you take a red or blue pill. So in the sales point, there's this interesting behavior happening that when people are thinking about, should I buy this or should I not buy this? That particular case is the sales obstacle, because people are fearing, if I now buy this, I open a Pandora's box and hope is lost kind of situation. So our design task was to actually design the sales approach to it, actually very, very simply to think about the situation where actually customers are thinking about, should I buy it or should I not? Our job was to think about, to make that as easy as possible, as credible as possible, as soothing as possible. So as a result of this, we were able to then make this live. You can go, buy it, make your test. But the cool thing about this, when you understand the real behavior of a human beings, what are the fears and hopes, you can translate that to actually numbers. And these numbers are staggering for 23andMe, and now they are back in the game over here. And I was thinking that in order to find a digital happiness, this case of 23andMe might be interesting to share with you on the design research point of view.
Right, thank you. So you can actually even measure the happiness, we believe. So one more case, actually a couple. So happy TV user. So everyone probably has a smart TV at home, right? The challenge with the smart TV is it's not actually very smart. It's super stupid, right? So LG gave us a task a few years back, like, hey, could you come up with a smart TV that actually smart. And it was literally a UI project where we went to, again, to see how people behave and what is the behavioral pattern behind like using the TV. And then we started to create user interface prototypes and concepts. We did actually 16 different ones. So we have now 15 leftovers if everyone is interested to buy. And the funny thing is like the whole user interface became as a part of their marketing as well. So we found during the interviews and the research that TV, well, obviously it's all about the entertainment, and people didn't feel that using a TV is an entertainment. So we created this out-of-the-box experience where there's this nice birdie, bee birdie, and when you open up the TV first time, it will give you the most entertaining experience ever while you're setting up the TV. This is also a good example of like difference between user interface and user experience. Like this is more about UI, a bit of UX, but then we had an idea, like what if when you go and buy it from Amazon, and you could set up all this stuff over there in Amazon already, and then when it arrives to your home, it's all set up. That's a good user experience. All right? And then one more. Happy captain or sailor. That's my role. So you remember the mining drill thing from 10 years ago? Now, this is sort of our mining drill thing from today. So Rolls-Royce had a vision, and still is, and they're actually quite public about this, about self-driving and autonomous vessels. Super challenging concept for designers. And so we were given a task, first to start dreaming everything you can think about supervised autonomous fleets in 2030, which is like over 10 years from now on. So we were thinking stuff that doesn't really even exist, like holograms, well, some of VR, AR, everything. So created a concept for that, and then we scale it down to something you can literally ship within a year or so, which is remote-controlled chip. How can a bunch of designers give anything to a challenge like this? You know how? By going and observing sailors. So we went to 3 different countries. Our designers there, spent a few months just living the life of sailor. We went even to experience a perfect storm. I think they were waiting for 3 weeks just to get the right kind of storm. And something's happening there, but without being there, you wouldn't really know and feel like what you should be designing for. And then co-creation, bringing all those insights we got from the field to working together with the client, building prototypes, mock-ups, trying stuff, and then in the end of the day, coming with a design that is super easy to use, but also won't sink the ship, which is pretty nice, I guess. Yeah, and we're pretty proud of how it looks as well. Style is pretty important as well. And this is the outcome. It's a 3D model, but there's a real thing where sailor or captain is sitting on this huge control center, and everything he or she sees and feels is designed by us. So, 7 cases. Is there any patterns? What is the secret of digital happiness? Any ideas? User. Observe the user. It took like 20 years of our lifetime kind of prove that concept, right? But it's all about observing the people. Identify friction, because I believe that friction equals opportunity, and turn it to a joy and to a big eye. Right? Anyone's actually doing this? Observing your own users. Anyone? Is this all new or all old? No one's doing this. Everyone should be doing this. It's funny, when I moved to Bay Area, I started to preach about user-centric design. I was told, dude, that's common sense. Of course we go and hear what our clients need, and then we turn it to something that's super needed and interesting. All right, that's it. One warning, a commercial advertisement. If you want to learn stuff I was just telling about, so we have what we call Idean Design Leadership Academy. This is not meant for the designers. It's meant for people who have a design thinking mindset, leaders, C-level, product owners who want to know how design is being led, how you ramp up your own organization. So it's a 2-day thing next time in Munich. We ask a tiny little money, but you are all welcome. If you're fast, you get a discount today. Be nice. All right. Thank you. I wanted to leave this to a nice feeling. All right. Any questions?
Wow. I think that if we would have an award for the most beautiful design slides, you would win it. I mean,
Give me one day more.
Yeah, it was wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. So, any questions from the audience before we move on? So here's my question for you. So, why is it that we don't take the time to observe the user? Why do we assume and very quickly start building something that we think that the user wants?
Because we are lazy.
Lazy.
Laziness. I mean, that's completely because of laziness. And I think laziness, and also I think what we're seeing is that companies and people think that this is sort of like nonsense. I mean, it takes few weeks. Where, I mean, this is the only way how you can actually know what is needed. I mean, our work, in the end of the day, I'm showing like nice, pretty pictures. We, out of the user research, you need to get feature list. That's the deliverable. It's not like, is it nice or not? 100 features scaled down to 20 most important ones. That's the outcome of a really good first user insight.
So it's not only about aesthetics.
No. I mean, yeah, very good point. So aesthetics is what we show here, because it's nice and cool, but it's just topping of the ice cake. Like ice cake, what? Topping of the cake.
Topping of the cake.
Topping of the cake. And the real thing is inside of like how you go and see and feel people behave, and then turn it to a meaningful product, make it easy to use, something you can actually sell and people want to buy. So, yep.
So thank you very much. Welcome to the family.
Yeah,
thank
I'm
you.
happy to be.